What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Just Joseph.
And it's Nikki B here.
Futureland365 Radio and Podcast Show.
You guys, oh my gosh, we had Kween and Humble G, the Fiddla, in the building.
In the building. This is where AI and music meet. You don't want to miss this episode.
You don't want to miss it.
It's a good one.
Peace. Awesome and amazing day, you all. Welcome back to Futureland365, another episode here where we highlight Cleveland's bold innovators, entrepreneurs, and creatives. And guess what? Yep, it's Nikki B here. Like, where is your co-host? Just Joseph is not here. Usually he'll say, and I'm just Joseph. But he's not here, you guys. So I'm holding it down. Joseph, wherever you are, I hope you're having a fantastic time. Well, actually, I do know where he is. He's actually teaching a basketball skill camp. And I love that for him because he's really skilled at what he does. So I hope you're having a great time doing that, you all. Oh, and while I have your attention, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on all of our social media platforms, Futureland CLE, as well as our page at futurelandcle.com, and subscribe to the newsletter so that you don't miss out on any of the workshops or events that we have going on. All right, you guys. Well, we have another amazing show because we have some phenomenal guests in the building. We have a duo collaboration going on. So you guys, I'm so excited because what we're talking about today is strings, selfhood, and social change. Like, hey girl, how are we gonna talk about that? How do those things tie in together? So you guys, welcome to the podcast, Mr. Humble G, the Fiddla, because we got to add that on there, right? To differentiate. And the beautiful Kween.
Thank you.
Hello, you all.
Kween with the K. Hey.
Kween with the K. Absolutely. Yes.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks. Yes.
So thank you guys for joining us and having this conversation. There's so much that these individuals do. Oh my gosh. So Humble G has the Fiddla. Humble G the Fiddla, because I understand that there was a little issue with the name with the Humble G first.
Yeah. There was someone else out there who was a Humble G that I won't promote, but it was the G stand for something different.
Totally different from what you stand for.
Yeah.
Because you're Humble G, because I was just like, well, what does that mean, right?
Yes.
And so what I found was, and I love this, because you're just a humble guy.
Yeah.
So I love that so much.
Thank
And man, Humble G, the Fiddla, or Humble G, he actually has worked with celebrities and musicians such as K. Kemp, Lil Baby, Khalid, Bootsy Collins, a legendary funk musician.
Yes. Bootsy Collins. He's super high level up there for sure.
Yeah, major.
Legendary.
So Kween is also, she's an artist within her own self.
Yes.
We were just talking, and I didn't know this part, but she was a teacher in the arts and movement, right? And what we mean by that is dance.
Dance. That's my background. That's what I've been rooted in most of my life. I've always been a creative, but the place where I rest most comfortably is in movement and dance. That's how I praise. That's how I teach. That's how I connect. And that's really my spiritual mode, if you will, for creativity and community. I come from a really beautiful, culturally centered family. Grew up in many villages, so to speak, here in Cleveland, that have nurtured me and nurtured that cultural part of me, and starting in like African dance mostly. That's really where my roots are. And I just continue to expand from there, and that's been a big part of my walk and the way that I serve too.
And then from that dance, you started to express yourself with poetry. Did I understand that
I've always
correctly?
been like a wordsmith and a writer, storyteller. So poetry has always come pretty naturally for me, especially through college. I joined a couple of, ciphers, and shout out to anybody who's ever been to B-side. Y'all know those Tuesday night sessions.
I used to go there back in the day.
Back in the day. Yeah. So shout out to all my B-side folks on the poetry scene. That was a big part of my artistic expression. And even from there, I just find ways to express my creativity however spirit flows with me. And even photography. Like I remember having a camera in my hand as young as like 8 or 9. My mom would always buy me disposable cameras. So I know I might be dating myself a little bit here, but disposables, they're always fun. And so I love to capture, images. I love to storytell. It's really storytelling when it comes down to it. What I realized about my spirit is that I am a storyteller through many means. And I think that's really the heartbeat of who I am as a person, who I am as a creative, as an artist, and as an activist and artivist, which is, an activist and community worker. So
I think that's really good, and it resonates to who you are. And just the way that you all have presented yourselves today, not with the outward appearance, but with your presence. With you, Queen, what I feel is such a calm, powerful presence.
Thank you.
You're definitely that teacher right in here, right? Yeah. You have the patience to teach individuals, young or old.
Yes.
So, and I see that so much. That's why when you said, I was a teacher in dance.
Yep, teacher in the arts.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I definitely see that.
Yeah.
And humble, man, dog. You are a dynamic individual. I heard this story about when you were younger, and you were in school and you failed a class, or the teacher wanted to fail you.
Yeah.
But your mom was like, no, we're going to go show him.
Yeah. Yes.
So let's jump right into that journey, because I feel as if though that's probably where things started for you there. Or it might have started before
I would
that.
I would say that's where things started for me. I would say that I was playing the violin already for about a year or a year and a half. But I could say that's where things started, because that was like my first test, and through tests come testimony. So that was my first testimony. So
we were just talking about that. That's good.
Just to be challenged, by someone who didn't truly see my light, because he just generalized me with what they think inner city school kids or public school kids who are black, brown, and red, So, but he did learn, The beautiful thing about God is you might not know, but you're going to learn today.
You're going to learn today.
Find out.
So he definitely found out, and, he had enough respect for himself to see where he was wrong, and when my mom came in and had him test me in front of all the kids, and he just wouldn't budge. He could have went home and studied and this and that. And when that show and tell, I don't know if they still do that, but back when we were kids, they had show and tell. And I brought that violin in and played. He just had me stay, and called my mom, apologized, changed my grade from an F. The F was it wasn't the report card, it was the progress report. So he changed it to an A, and he submitted me to audition for Cleveland School of the Arts. And that's where the journey starts.
So that's
for sure.
pretty much, where that started. And I love that. And so you guys, that's where the strings come in at.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. So strings, selfhood, and social change.
Yes.
Because that's all wrapped within that story.
Yes.
Because your mother was there to be the person to advocate for you.
Yes,
right?
yes, absolutely.
And then also for him to shift his perspective, and he probably changed some things about the way that how he teaches the children within that. So
and how he views us.
Yep, how he views us, right? So I think that's phenomenal. So I want to take a little bit of a step back, you guys, because I love this name for you. Did you give yourself this name, or did other people give you this name?
Other people did.
RSVP.
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 Yes. That right.
So let us know what that stands for.
So RSVP is an acronym for rapper, singer, violinist, producer. So as people know, I've been playing the violin for a long time. I've been singing for a long time, and I've actually been rapping for a long time, and producing for a long time. I'm an audio engineer as well. Went to Full Sail University for audio production, And I just love everything that's music, sound. I love to edutain, you know, and I just believe, you know, certain music that you make can create vibrations that are positive and encouraging and enlightening. But then once you add voice, because the power of the word should walk amongst the flesh. It has more of an impact, you know. And by me being an MC, a rapper as well, I just always been very conscious of what I say. You know, even when I was a kid, people who know, like, man, when you was a kid, you were thinking about the kids. You know, that's why there's so many. They're not kids anymore who are like, man, you performed at my school. I remember, you know, I was just a teenager, but they were little kids, you know, and now they're in college, and, you know, some of them have kids now, you know, and it's just, you know, it's just a beautiful thing to be able to use I can say talents, but even being a violin, a rapper, a singer, producer, that's stuff. Yeah. There's other people who have that stuff as well, you know, but I'm yielded to God as my sovereign ruler. So God has blessed me with an assignment to have sovereignty over. So whether you do all that stuff, you can never be me, you know, and that's what I want to promote through my music, promote through edutainment, promote through our solutions that we have. And, you know, that's always been the focus and the intention.
Yeah, that's so good. And I love how you stated edutainment. So I didn't want you guys to miss that he missaid something. No, he was on purpose when he, and intentional, saying edutainment, right?
Yes.
So
shout out to KRS-One.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So when you say that, what does that mean for you? If you were to share that with our audience, what does that mean, and what do you want people to glean from that?
What it means to me is it's just truth. You know, it's the truth, edutainment. Because when I study, because I'm a noetic scientist as well, noetic computer scientist actually, but I'm a noetic scientist. So we believe in faith, belief in intention, and we prove those things through historical facts and through scientific data. And when you go back to ancient civilization and you look at the way that we were taught and how our ancestral intelligence was passed down, it was always passed through edutainment, through stories and music and festivals and song and dance. And these things were able to teach us our history. It was able to teach us our rituals, able to teach us about the planet, teach us about God, teach us about who we are. And entertainment is very important because we're supposed to educate as we entertain. Yeah.
We're going to go so deep, you all. I can see that right now. So I always have to with you all, I'm going to have to keep myself on track here, right? So Kween, you know, and having this dynamic husband that is super talented as well as yourself, you know, what is your role within your dynamic, and how do you keep things I don't want to say structure because that sounds so restrictive, right? How do you keep things in rhythm? I'll say in harmony.
Good. I was going to say in flow, but in rhythm is a perfect word.
Yes.
I'm glad you asked that. You know, recently I was talking with a good friend of ours. Shout out to Jing. We were talking about. I was just telling her about my journey. She said, "You know what?" She said, "You're the CEO of the family."
This part. Yes, ma'am.
You know what? You're right.
That's what I was hoping you would say.
Yeah. And I hadn't dawned on that as a title per se, but that is a role that I know I fulfill. And of course, you know, being a married couple and being yielded to God, you know, I yield to my husband as leader, but we co-lead in our own respects. But I am a firm believer that the woman really truly makes a house a home, and that we have to be the CEOs of our home, because that's the nurturing part of, you our familyhood. And so for me, I am very structured, or at least I try my best to be, even in, my whole artistry. With artists, we're very creative, and
Yes, we are
and
over there,
and maybe here and there,
yes.
but I am very much so like regimented. I'm that person. I'm like, babe, we got to do this. I got my planner. I got my 3 planners out. I got my husband's schedule. I got my schedule. I got my son's schedule, and then we have our family schedule. And so, there is a, striking the balance. I'm not going to say it's easy. It's a constant. It's a constant ebb and flow of, prioritizing what's important first. And it's always family first. Yeah. And being artists, we have the ability to co-create together in the home. So that makes things a lot easier too. And we feed off of each other. There's a lot of people who unfortunately don't get to work together, or who may not, they may not vibe in that same way. It's not for everyone.
They just can't.
They kind of just can't. But we're fortunate.
Can't.
We're blessed that God put us on a path together. And we've been friends for many years before we got married, at least a decade. And so, we've had a chance to really create union even before coming into a sacred union. And so I think even that has just been the pedestal, the foundation for creating a good sauce, if you will, for our family mixture. And so for me, I'm married to a really talented guy and a really big, personality, which is great because I feed off of that too. And I don't mind, what do they say? Playing second chair, is that what? I don't know all the their second violin. Is that
second
violin.
You don't mind being first chair in the second section.
There we go.
I see.
He's got all that.
I'm like, what?
Okay, I love his shine.
First chair, second chair. Yeah.
I love his
It's so
shine
important.
because as he shines, I shine.
Absolutely.
And I'm a firm believer that he's my protector, and he's the protector for our family. And so the more he is him, and the more that he serves our community and serves and yields to God in his service, the more I can be more of that for myself, and for our family and for our son. And so I'm really grateful for you asking that, because I think there's a lot of women and families and couples who are probably wondering, like, I want to get out there and do it too. And you can do it too, but you have to have a really strong partner who's also willing and able to be flexible to that too. And so I have a really great partner in this man. Like, he's understanding that I'm still my own person.
Thank you.
I'm still an individual. I'm still an artist myself, and he makes way for me, even in being, being the CEO of the family. He takes care of a lot of things I don't see a lot of men taking care of. So shout out to my husband for that, for giving me the space and time as well to develop myself as an individual, as an artist, as a creative, as a holistic healer and worker. I'm an energy worker, and I work and have worked a lot with women and young girls over my path doing rites of passage programs and retreats and things. And so and then when I need to pull back, he lets me do that too. And he's like, I got you, so that's a beautiful thing when you have a man and a woman that can, be in tow with one another, and have your own ebb and flow, but that's still, that's still in a way that supports the foundation of the family. And I gotta keep going back to the family, because there is no anything else if there is no family foundation.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
So
And that is the structure. Like you're saying, structure is love. That's right. So yeah, absolutely. And I can't plan anything without talking to her first anyway.
That's right.
Like, are you available? I'm like, let me get back with you. Okay, babe, are we available on that day? So
right.
Yeah,
that's so important to have that communication. And I also think what's really important too is that you both were flourishing and on your own assignments prior, right?
Yes.
Fulfilling those creativity things or nudges within you to go out and explore, but you were friends, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So being creative individuals and coming together to collaborate and connect and create, right?
Yes.
So I think that's so important. I don't want people to miss that, because I think a lot of times we're in this space where people are looking to take hold or latch on to someone that may have all the glitz and the glamour and things like that. But it's like, okay, there's nothing wrong with glitz and glamour, so I don't want to shame that. But what I'm saying is, it is so important, you all, to know what your assignment is. We all have the same purpose, but knowing your individual assignment and walking in that. And as you're doing that, you're going to have this essence or this glow about you. And that person, is going to find you or be revealed,
Yes.
and then you all can come together,
Yes.
and with our powers combined,
That's right.
right? If you get it, you get it.
That's right.
If
We
you
say
know,
it
you
all
know.
the time. You know, you know.
Let me know. What show is that from, right?
Right.
So with both of your powers combined, you'll be able to connect, and there won't be as much friction or issues within.
Yes.
Of course, you're going to have some issues because you get two people becoming one.
Yeah.
That's huge, right?
Yes,
That's
yes.
a major move that's
Yes.
happening right there.
Yes.
So you all, thank you for sharing that origin, that foundation right
Yeah.
there,
Thank
you
you,
all.
thank you.
So when we come back, you guys, we're going to find out a little bit more just how Humble G and Miss Queen here are really making social impact and how they're doing that in their gifts and their artistry and things like that. And then some other things that they are working on that I can't wait to share with you guys. So you guys, we'll be right back.
Attention listeners, WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United is now streaming on iHeartRadio. We are the same community radio station with the same mission. Now with another way to bring you the content you need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can still find us on WOVU.org and still listen to us anywhere on the free WOVU mobile app. Those are not going away, but you can also find us on iHeart.com and on the free iHeartRadio mobile app. However you choose to listen, keep it locked for the latest content as we continue to provide a platform for you, the best audience in the land, right here on WOVU 95.9 FM. Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
All right, you guys, welcome back to Futureland365. It's Nikki B here. And usually you will hear, and I'm just Joseph, but my guy is out. He's doing his thing out in the community and sharing his light, as he should be, right? So you guys, I'm here with the awesome and amazing duo. We have Miss Queen with a K, yes, if you didn't know. And we have Humble G, the Fiddla.
Yes.
And he is a violinist. Well, let me say it in order, RSVV, right? He's a rapper, singer, violinist, and producer.
Yes.
Absolutely. I love that. So you guys, before we left, we were talking about not pretty much how they met, but how their creativities combine and what they do and how they do it and how they make it work together, right? Make it work because they want to, right? They want to make it work.
Yes.
So I think that's so important. So with talking about that, now we're like, well, how do you guys make this change, or how does that translate, or how do you support the community, and what programs do you guys have, and what does that look like? So I'll just break that down because I just said a whole lot right there, right? It's like, girl, what are you saying? So how do you guys impact our community? What programs do you guys have, and how do schools reach out to you? Do civic spaces reach out to you all for you to share your programs or your creativity with the community?
Yes, you want to go? Or?
Go ahead, you got it, baby.
So there's so many ways that everything that we do, we want to make sure that we have impact, and we've been blessed to be in a position, over the last year to be advisors to impact leaders, which has been a really beautiful thing. Never thought being a musician and an audio engineer would lead me to becoming a lead technologist and a developer, in the artificial intelligence space. Didn't see that coming. I was already using it. Everybody was in the closet about it at school, but I was using it because I'm not fresh out of high school and I needed some help with those projects. But as I saw that it can serve and better help how we serve people, that's when we found our niche solution, because we're not into niche industry. We're into niche solutions because it makes more impact and it builds bridges between different sectors, and it's tied to how we serve and help people see a transformation in their life, within their business, and within their mission. So we started International Multimedia Group AI
love that.
together.
Yes,
And I'm an active participant in the AI Roundtable at Greater Cleveland Partnership. And from being a part of that led me to, shout out to Megan Kim and Freddie Collier at GCP, led me to being able to demonstrate some of the AI agents that I had built for civic leaders. So there was...
Right.
Okay, wait.
I want to go
Let's pause. Let's pause. Okay, so two things here, right, to go back because we are a teaching podcast as well because we have an audience that is looking like, well, what is out there? What can I do? What kind of life do I want to live? And how do I want to put that life in place, right? So what that means is, well, what can you do, right? What are some of the skills that you can obtain? So you said two things. So first was the International Multimedia Group AI, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's break that down first. And then the second part is you were talking about some AI agents. We got some ninjas walking around here.
Right.
Or these little robots climbing up on the walls. Like what? So those two things, if you guys can break those two things down, let's figure this out.
Yes, go ahead, lead. This is the lead technologist, so I'm going to defer to him to break
I don't
down.
want to mess this
Well,
up.
she helps me test them, though.
Yes.
She just helped me
and
test
I'm part of
them.
the creative,
That is-
strategic
That's
planning
major.
group. So
You have to have the technology and the creativity,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And knowing how to serve your demographic or your audience or your community, right?
Yeah.
So this is a major
we're
collaboration here.
co-visionaries.
Yeah, it is.
We
She-
visualize together. But
my
he's
wife-
the technologist. He's the hands-on.
Well, I'm lead technologist, but my wife is in AI. She's a culture architect,
Yes,
so
I am.
she keeps the culture and she helps me when it comes to developing the identity and the perspectives of these agents. And when I say agents, I'm not into robotics, but I'm into AI agents, meaning. If you ever use ChatGPT, right? That's an AI agent.
Okay.
But it's as a chat bot.
Okay.
And it represents OpenAI's engine.
Okay.
So what I do is I help SMBs, institutions, all types of entrepreneurs, learn more about what AI is first. We use 4 pillars of value, which is imagination, communication, unification, and then implementation. And so many people have anxiety about the implementation part. Well, how does this work or how?
Yeah.
And once we get to speak to them, because we actually led a speech on AI at Corporate East College for Success Bound. And we just wanted people to see that you don't have to focus on the implementation. Focus on the imagination.
Exactly.
Like let's imagine beyond the systems that currently exist and understand that if AI is to reflect us, we have to be in the rooms where the instructions are being written.
That's right.
And we're actually there. And it's all about the knowledge base. So once I start learning how to develop first I just wanted to add value. But then it just wasn't me. I'm like, I like to create value. So then that's when I actually became an engineer of building these AI solutions. And we found where our niche was providing these AI systems as a service for entrepreneurs, businesses, nonprofits, and creatives to, better serve through community engagement and customer care. So we create that interface for people to get knowledge where what you do becomes a knowledge ecosystem. For people who just want that knowledge, and it can get deep into that. It can get deep. But I was at a AI hack convening that Freddie Collier, he's the senior vice president of strategy innovation at GCP. He invited me, and it was the RTA was there, the Cleveland Foundation, Greater Cleveland Partnership, Case Western Reserve. I'm probably leaving some others out, but I was able to show one of my voice agents. And what it does is businesses and entrepreneurs miss about 65% of their calls because they're working. So what it does is it answers all the missed calls and it engages with the caller. And then it sends a transcript, a summary, and an audio recording so that missed call turns to lead. So all they have to do is miss a call. So, and that's what it's about. My wife said something that's really beautiful. She always say, imagine an 8-hour work week and how much time human beings have to impact and serve the people that God put them here to serve.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Precisely. And using the technology. And for me, I'm a blossoming technologist myself, but I'm, for me, I'm using AI in a little bit more of we both use it in creatively. But like I said, he's the builder and the technologist, but I'm a master visionary. We both are. Yeah. And so I bring, for me, like a lot of my communal experiences and the work that I do with women in the community I serve. And I, when I talk to a lot of like women with families and single moms and just like the day-to-day struggle of, just life. It's like we're working, we're taking care of our families, we're just round the clock, and so when I start to think about how AI can be transformative in our day-to-day lives, I'm like, okay, even if we took a voice agent and we say, hey, we're just going to better customer service experiences, like calling into your insurance or a credit card company, or even social services like, Medicaid or Social Security. I mean, I've talked to people that have waited on call for like 10 hours just to get someone from Social Security. Who has time to take off a day?
And then the call drops when you get them.
Exactly. Who has time to take off a whole work day just to maybe get someone to answer, maybe get a question answered and then hang up and like, oh my God, I have another question that didn't get answered.
Or
imagine
it's the wrong department.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And imagine if we had technology, which we do, with an agent that could answer at least 1,300 or many calls at one time. I won't even put a limitation on it.
Yeah.
And you can call at any time. You can get the answers you're looking for, and saving yourself time, giving time back to people, giving time back to the community, and creating a more of a stress-free environment for when we communicate with our constituents, right, and with our businesses. So I think the biggest thing too is the convenience of time that we're getting back, but also creating a new world of communication. Just like when email came out, just like when social media came out, we didn't think 20 years ago that we were going to have marketplaces and social influencers and all this stuff and people making money this way. So why aren't we looking at how to create better customer service experiences through our communication? And so this is what we're using with AI is it's for businesses, yes, and it's for community institutions. It's for day-to-day people to learn how to engage and utilize it in a way that can help, get them their time back.
Solve solutions. My bad, babe.
Yeah.
Like, like one thing that we've learned, and one thing that I've reconciled, I always reconcile with is, spend a lot of time figuring out how to fix problems for other people. Because when people don't care what you know till they know that you care.
That's it.
Say
that again. We need to know that.
People don't care what you know till they know that you care. You can make the most, and I deal with a lot of tech guys. Oh man, look at this cool thing, and like, that's great, but I don't see how it would help me. And it's like trying to get someone to convince someone to buy something that's cool to you, when it's like, no, how can you serve these people? I believe God put us here to please God and serve people, not please people and serve ourselves.
That's right.
And one thing I can say about the entertainment business, I've been there. You're trying to please people. But at the same time, you're trying to serve yourself because you feel some type of way that they don't see you.
That's right.
So I'm just so grateful that I have enough awareness to be grateful enough to not be in that space anymore.
That's so good, and it takes me back to a guest that we had on the show previously, Cameron Jones and DJ Step One.
Oh yeah.
So nice. Cameron Jones has a son who is on the spectrum, if I'm not mistaken. And please, Cameron, forgive me if I'm misspeaking here, but his son doesn't speak. At the level that he should be. I believe he's 4 or 5, maybe 6. But he doesn't speak well, doesn't articulate. So Cameron, being the techie guy that he is, he was like, I'm going to create an app. So the app that he created for his son is called Say It Buddy. So just what you're talking about, creating and solving problems for people that are outside of ourselves, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So because there's another app that's out there that costs, I believe, like $300, right? And he was like, well, I can afford that,
Right.
but
Most people
cannot
Most
afford
people
that,
can
right?
afford that, right.
So what he is doing is, if I'm not mistaken, again, please, Cameron, jump in the conversation, come into the chat room. He's actually, I believe, serving it or selling it to, like, not insurances, but having it available for your insurance,
That's
to where you can pay
amazing.
like $9.99,
That's
something
amazing.
like that.
We need
to
it.
help families or parents, like,
Yeah.
because he said he found himself always saying, "Say it, buddy."
Yeah,
I love it.
Say it, buddy.
I love that.
I love
Right,
it.
I love
the
that.
simplicity
Yeah.
of solving
Yeah.
that
And say-
problem,
yes,
right?
yes.
So again, what you're talking about, the niche solutions
Yes.
versus the niche skill,
Yes.
or
Yeah, the niche industry.
niche
Yeah.
industry. No, what's a niche solution? Like, dive all the way
Right.
down to it.
To
Yeah.
the
Who can
everyday.
this solve?
Exactly.
And it's like every day
For
like,
families.
It's
you know?
every day, and
Yeah.
because we have a son
On the spectrum.
on the
as well.
spectrum,
Yeah.
you know, and
Similar, same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, and I have an older son too who's on the spectrum.
Yeah.
So
So
we actually
he's-
have two sons that's on the spectrum.
and
Yeah.
same thing. So we could use Say It Buddy. We're in the same space
Yeah.
of, teaching our son how to, really articulate and communicate and be more, conversational. And so, and the thing is, this is a big topic of conversation. Not to get too far off, but the autism rates are going sky high now.
Yeah.
Where a few years ago used to be 1 in 10,000, it's like 1 in 36 now. And so, please share information from me with Say It Buddy. I want to know more
I'll
about
definitely
that.
share that. I'll share
Yes.
his profile with
Yes.
you all, but I believe that app is readily available for people to use.
And that's great too, because we also have been talking about some solutions, a little bit different than that, but I work with a group, shout out to Mother to Mother, and our founder, Selena Miller. It's a support group for mothers with children with special needs, a lot on the spectrum, but all special needs are welcome. And it's a beautiful community that is about enriching families on our walk through this journey.
Yes.
And one thing that we had talked about possibly was developing some AI, an agent that could help us with just navigating the busyness of this world. Like for those who don't know, when you have a child with any kind of special needs, there's a lot of therapies, there's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of all the time type things that you have to constantly fill out. And so we're looking at ways to create solutions that can make this a slightly less stressful journey for our moms and our parents out here to, again, utilizing AI and utilizing the technology that we have to implement solutions for us to, serve ourselves a little bit better
Yeah,
and
'cause
to get back to our families.
Yeah, because a lot of us, we just need knowledge or information answered
That's right.
right then and there, And when I was thinking about what is it, Say It Buddy?
Say it, buddy.
I love that
love
because
it.
one thing that we specialize is in chatbots, right? Which is not just a customer service chatbot, but just information. I could see even a chatbot just where parents can chat with it to help guide them on using the app and how well it's just having information. Even when we were talking with, I'm not going to name the companies, but you have certain companies that have 600 web pages, right? And there could be a grant out there just for them or just for their child or just for their student. But who's navigating 600 pages?
Exactly.
So if an AI agent came up as a chatbot and conversated with you on a high level and engaged with you with what you were interested in, like, oh, wow, I see that. Well, there actually is a grant that you'll qualify. And you'd be like, oh, really? And then the link comes up and now it's guiding you through the grant
And
process.
can help you outline,
And we
something to submit for that grant. There's so much that we can
and we
do
built
with the technology.
those.
Yes.
We built those, and we're not talking about ChatGPT.
Yeah.
We're talking about actually building them, taking those engines, fine tuning them to where we've worked with coaches and executive strategy teams who just got tired of answering the same 40 questions every day, all the time, because people forgot orientation or what happened there. Consultants who want to train an agent on all their consulting victories so that now the consultants that work for them, it saves them 40% of the time because now it's engaging them and helping them, and And we call that an
Yeah.
omni AI chatbot.
Or an internal strategist where, for instance, our team, we take all of our meetings and then we
Yeah.
transcribe them. And then we're able to go back and recap and just, ask our internal strategist, like, hey, on that meeting date, could you give me a summary of those, key points? And now take that for me and let's see how we can create a blueprint for our next project. There's so much that we can do.
Yeah.
It's just
Right.
about really teaching and educating our community about what's out there to help simplify the solutions that are needed for everyday
Absolutely.
success.
And that's what we do.
Yeah.
That's just my marketing hat. Something we
That
get.
is
We
what we do.
we do that.
do
So we look at, we want to see a transformation in people's life, and for people to understand that there has to be more people that look like us,
That part.
who are developing, and it comes through collaboration. There's experiences that you have been through, and there's wisdom, skill, godly skill that you have that can be a knowledge base for an AI agent, and then there's a perspective that we can train it on that you want to have that will help other people that have been through what you've been through, who are on a journey, who look up to you or want to know how they can apply that to their life and what's going on with them. So it's, we always tell imagination.
Yes.
Imagination is the highest key, because when you look at the origin story of everything that's been created, the first thing God tells us, right? Because it's like when you meet someone, right? The first thing I tell you might not be the most important thing about me, but it might be the most important thing that you need to know about me. So it's like if I'm in a room and they're booking musicians, of course, oh yeah, I play the violin. Yeah, I've done over 3,000 performances. Here's my EBK. But if I'm in a room with techies and it's about AI, well, we built this, we built that. So the first thing that God let us know is that God created creation, created creatures, and then created us in God's image. And image is the root word of imagination.
And imagination is the spark of the spirit.
Yes.
And I have to say that. That's the spark of the
Yes,
spirit.
it's the spark of the spirit. And God told us,
Imagination is the spark of the spirit.
spark of the spirit. And God told us to be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah.
And then the other things were to do.
That's right.
And then to have dominion. So God wants us to have these things.
Yes.
God created this earth for us, not us for the earth. So this, it's just beautiful that we can be in a space and we can make sure that our whole thing is making sure that the AI isn't biased, because if it's only trained by the highly technical, and there's no collaboration, it's all about the knowledge base.
It is.
So really it's a superpower for people who have wisdom and people who have been doing what they've been doing for 5, 10, 20 plus years, because that's what's going to actually make it elevate. Shout out to this guy I watched by the name of Myron Golden. I like what he said.
Yes.
He said everyone talks about the age of artificial intelligence. We're actually in the age of intelligence integration, where you take the actual human intelligence and artificial intelligence, and through collaboration comes things that would have never happened on their own. And the reason I brought up the origin story is because it's like everything that's been created has an origin. So we created AI in the image of what? So the origin story of AI is that artificial intelligence comes from actual intelligence that was passed down through ancestral intelligence. So AI comes from AI that came from AI. So I know
Nikki's over there like, wow.
That's so good.
Next episode.
Rewind 10
Yes,
seconds.
yes,
Rewind
yes.
2 seconds
Right,
to hear that clearly.
yes.
And that's another project we're working on with Elder Kaba. Shout out to Elder
Oh
Kaba.
yeah, Elder Kaba. Shout out to
Yes.
Wait,
Baba.
what is it? What?
This ancestral intelligence
Okay.
project that we're working on.
Yes,
I don't know how
yes.
much we can talk about it, but
Well, we could a little bit.
Okay.
So shout out to Elder Kaba Kabane. He's one of the founders of Hidden Colors, and he's just a powerful brother,
Scholar of our history,
pillar,
culture
our
keeper,
history. And I
historian.
reached out to him, and I was like, I said, Elder Kaba, with AI, what if we got rid of the saying that the knowledge dies with the elders?
That's right.
And so what we did was we start building an AI system and an AI website where it's trained on all this knowledge and all these things to where people that look like us can go and find out our ancestral intelligence, find out the richness of who we are, our history, and then lead to resources that we have going on so that we can continue to connect and engage.
And build for
You
foundation.
guys-
Yes.
I'm mind blown over
I know.
here.
It's,
There's so much information
Yeah.
here. There's a wealth, a well
Thank
of
you.
knowledge here
Thank
and
you.
wisdom.
Yes, yes.
Creativity, all those things, purity, love.
It's God. It
And
comes
that's
God.
what
Yeah.
we're describing.
Yes,
Those
yes.
are some attributes of God because He's just everything.
Everything
Omnipotent, omnipresent,
and we,
yes.
I can feel it coming from you.
that's right.
You know,
Yeah.
I feel it coming from here. I feel it coming from. I don't know if you want to say his name, but
Eddie.
Shout out to
you know,
Eddie.
Eddie's definitely ready. You know, you know, we feel it because one thing that I believe is that when you yield to God as your sovereign ruler, God blesses you with an assignment.
That's right.
You know, to have sovereignty over. And as long as you stay yielded to God, that assignment will yield to you. It will produce, it will please God and serve the people that God put you here to serve. And they'll actually give you a certificate of service called money. So, you know, it's just
I've never heard that expression, and that I've never heard that in that way, which takes the limits off, or let's just say, you know how a river flows, it removes the dam from the currency flowing to you. So say it again about money. It is the certificate of service.
That's part.
you know, like servers at
Y'all felt
restaurants.
that. Drop that
they-
in the
they-
chat.
Yeah.
I felt that.
They serve servers. And how they
Yes.
know they're serving a server? Because you got a certificate
That's
of
right.
service.
That
Here you
note.
go. I'll even tip you
That
with
note.
some certificate of
That
service.
note.
Yeah.
You know, so
So-
that's the beauty. If you think of people who are wealthy, right? They've created solutions to serve people either on a high level or a bunch of people, you know, and we appreciate being on Futureland, you know, 365 because, you know, it's in this age of AI, like, you know, and it's getting bigger, like, who do you go to? Who do you trust? You know, and a face is always, to be able to put your face out there shows a level of trust. That's why personal brands are so important. When you think of
Yeah.
Apple, you think of Steve Jobs. When you think of, you know, Tesla, you think of Elon Musk. When you think of, you know, OpenAI, you think of Sam Altman. You just think of these people because when you feel that trust, you know that, okay, that's what's behind the product. You know?
And we want more people like us that look like
Exactly.
us
To be at the
to be able to
table.
trust and trust, not just trusting us, but trusting in the technology. I think there's a lot of fear
Yes.
around it too, and rightly so too. I mean, we're looking at different parts of AI too, and so I'm not saying that all parts of AI are. You know, for me, when I take a step back to look at technology in anything that we do, it's not the technology, it's the intent behind it. It's not, what a person, does or doesn't. It's the intent behind what they're doing. And same with a gun. It's not the gun's fault that it's a gun. It's the intent,
you
right?
put
Some
behind
people are hunting with it for food, or a knife they're hunting, or they're using, outdoor skills. But some people are using it for nefarious acts. And so we really have to look at the intent behind how people are using. So our intent is to really build communities. Our intent is to serve. One of the communities that we're working with, I have to shout them out.
Yes.
It's All Our Babies.
Shout out to all our babies.
And shout out to our founder, Aaron. I wanted to speak just a little bit about
Aaron
that
and
because
Jamila.
Aaron and Jamila, I wanted to shout them out because All Our Babies is a new movement that is centered around Black maternal health and this idea of Afrofuturism and how we're creating new spaces for Black maternity in the future. If you don't know, Black women are dying at 3 times the rate of anyone else, any other race in modern history. And that's not okay. And so we need to have conversations around that piece because that's literally about our survival. It's about our lives. So this is not just, the moms, when we think maternal, we think mothers, obviously, but this is about the family. We're about preserving life. And so they're doing incredible work. Right now we're working as a commissioned artists for the project to create something really cool and centered around Afrofuturism, which is, if you don't know what Afrofuturism is, I encourage you to go look up a little bit more about it, but it's really about this global Pan-African identity and culture that we're moving into the future and creating this new landscape for what that looks like for us in the future. We're constantly evolving, and as my husband said, we're talking about this ancestral intelligence that's coded in our DNA, that we
DNA,
come
that's
from
the original
as
code.
culture
Yes.
keepers, and so we continue to evolve with the technology. So we don't let the technology evolve us, right? We use it as a tool because we're vessels of the Most High, and so as vessels, we have to continue pushing forward to create new ways of being and living, and we have to do it for ourselves because obviously they're not doing it. And when I say they, I mean these institutions, the hospitals and such are not doing it for us because we wouldn't be dying at the rates that we are.
Right.
So I want to encourage you all to check out All Our Babies. Go to allarourbabiescleveland.com. We actually have, I have to shout this out, on June 28th, we have our last community event for everyone that wants to come out and support. Please go to the website.
Yes.
It's all about holistic healing, wellness, families. There's music, there's dance, there's just love and coming together and learning and learning how you can be a part of this space. Also, we have a culminating event, a festival, September 6th, so you get to come and see the cool art pieces that we're doing, a concert by Hama G, as well as some cool Afrofuturistic AI storytelling that I'll be doing and we'll be working with together, using with our healing music as well, but fusing AI into the artistic lens and creating this Afrofuturistic vision for Black maternal health in the future. So so I just wanted to drop that.
But just being creative, and I just want to say one thing because I know we don't want to go over time. We just want to let people know you really don't fear AI. It's just anxiety, which is using today's energy worrying about a undesirable outcome of tomorrow. Let's get past that because it's the great equalizer. And what I mean by that is this is a technology that the whole world is learning at the same time. So your earning curve is literally not connected to what school you went to, what connections you have, or any of that. Is your earning curve is connected to your learning curve. So the quicker you learn, the quicker you can earn, and that's just a beautiful thing. We're sitting in spaces right now that we wouldn't have been in that capacity if we weren't doing what we were doing. And we're sitting in spaces where we're working with companies in AI, and they turn around and book us for performing too.
So it's merging that.
It's merging.
It's
that fusion. And we just want to make sure that people have the clarity because we believe clarity is currency, and innovation moves at the speed of purpose.
This is exactly what Futureland 365 is all about. Where culture, creativity, and technology combine.
Yes.
Storytelling.
Yes.
Right? Knowing who you are, walking in your purpose, knowing your assignment.
Yes.
And not being fearful in doing that, not being hesitant, if you will, right?
Yes.
Actually being it, doing that thing, right?
Yes, I love
that.
Absolutely.
This has been
being and doing. I love that you said being and doing because when you be, like being fruitful, and multiply by doing, and replenish, subdue, that's all doing, but then dominion is having. See, the thing is, we all desire to have, so a lot of people are willing to do anything to have it. But when you become, when you focus on becoming, you would do the things necessary, and you will have the things that your heart's desire because God placed it there for you. Absolutely. So and it was so natural. It wasn't like you was trying to teach. It was just the way you said it, and it just sparked that. Like
I was just about to say it. Sparking the spirit.
Yeah, sparking the spirit. Absolutely.
Myself and Alicia, we talk about this all the time. Being in alignment and having those purposeful partnerships and those connections, right?
Yes.
Because that's what happens. The imagination is sparked.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
So I think that's so good. This has been an amazing conversation.
Thank you.
There truly has to be a part 2.
To
be continued.
We were just getting wrapped up.
Like we just started.
We just got
started, but that's okay. Because the best thing, start before you're ready.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean?
Start before you're ready.
Before you're
ready.
That's so good because that's where we get stuck at, right? I don't know where to start. Walk.
Just do it.
Yeah, just walk.
Write it.
Walk
talk
in faith.
about it.
Trust.
Walk. That's what walking in purpose is really walking by faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, getting started before you're ready is trusting wholeheartedly in the most supreme being. And I think that's, if you are a
Absolutely.
person of faith, and I'm not speaking religion, I'm saying of faith, I don't care what you call yourself. If you believe in something higher than yourself, and you know that you walk in divine light and purpose, you cannot be misguided. And that goes back to what you said about knowing yourself. And knowing yourself is knowing that you are guided and have a spiritual connection to something that's greater in purpose than yourself, that's bigger and more vast than being an individual. It's about serving the community. It's about serving the God body in all of us, because we're all extensions of God. And so I like to say that we are God body because we're embodying that spiritual essence of God. And so we have to walk in that and own that, and not big G, little g, right? Little g, always, to stay humble and when we're thinking about as being a God body servant, because we always want to exalt the Most High, so that we never get big-headed about what we're doing. It's not us doing it. It's always the
Say
Most High
God
doing it.
exalts the humble, you
That's
know,
right.
so that, you know, God's going to shine the light on the ones who shine the light on God. You know, so that we just want to thank you for having us here,
thank you, Nikki.
you know,
You're
and you know,
Pleasure.
and for
You were such a
serving
light.
so well, you know. And I like when you said, it was something you said about God being, it was something about an aspect, but it sparked, and then what you just said, babe, sparked something that just made me want to say that God put an aspect of God's creativity in everyone, but then put all of God's creativity in anyone. So that means, you know, we need you to create something for us, and you need us to create something for you. You know, and there's a prayer that Solomon said when he asked God to bless him with the wisdom and understanding to be the man that God created him to be, to please him and serve his people. And that goes even to, I pray to that same prayer, you know, to be the husband that you created me to be, to serve my wife, to be the father that you created me to be, to serve these children you blessed me with, you know, to be the son that you know, it's when you put yourself in service, you would just be so mind blown on, you know, it's like the whole time you thought you were waiting on God, God was waiting on you.
And with that, you all, come with G, because I'm going to stop it right there. Because if not, we can continue this conversation. Why? Because this conversation is potent, right? It's powerful, it's purposeful, and it's present. This presence here is, I have goosebumps, you all. You probably can't
Same
see
here,
them,
same
but
here,
that's how I know this conversation was needed, and I was excited about it. I couldn't wait to sit down and talk with you all, because again, you don't see a dynamic duo in the edutainment industry.
Yes.
And serving the way that you all serve.
Thank you.
What I mean by that being a servitude, right? That servitude, having that leadership, those leadership qualities, and being innovative, right? You have this creativity, you have these skills and these gifts, but it's like, how do I turn it up? How do I serve my community in a better, more impactful way? And what's going on right now in our social climate? AI is booming. So how can I turn that into social change? And that's exactly what we were talking about today, you all. And we started this conversation, just like I said, strength, selfhood, and social change. And that's exactly what we talked about today. Man, you guys, okay. So I'm going to give some key takeaways here, and then we're going to sign off, because I have so many key takeaways. But okay, so first of all, I told you guys about edutainment. That's big right there, because it comes from our ancestors way back in time, and that's how we learned, through storytelling, right? Through pictures, through sound, through music and instruments and things like that. So that's how we learned. So that was a key takeaway for me. Imagination is the spark of the spirit. What? And wisdom is skill. It equals skills. I had no idea, or at least I thought so, but I wasn't sure. I didn't hear the language in that way, right? And then Miss Kween said here, she said she's a blossoming technologist. I love that so much. Well, you all, I can keep going, because I have so many notes here, and I have other questions and topics that we did not have a chance to get to, but I think we went where we were supposed to go.
Absolutely.
We went where we were supposed to go, and that was my silent prayer today.
Yes.
So you all, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
awesome
Thank you for
and
having us.
amazing guests
Thank you
today.
for your light.
I cannot wait to connect with you guys even
Yes.
further.
Yes.
And all the things. So thank you for being who you are. Thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate you so much.
All right, you guys. Well, Futureland365. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe right here. Nikki B. Peace.
Peace.